The next section or chunk we're going to cover for lesson 36-1 is going to be questions 7 and 8. Now, on the previous slide, you should have seen this paragraph that says, because the range is based on only two numbers, it does not reflect any variation in the data between the greatest and the least values. The range is greatly influenced by your extreme values. Another measure of spread that is not as influenced by extremes is the mean absolute deviation, which is computed using all the data values. The mean absolute deviation is the mean average of the absolute values of the deviations of the data. The deviation is a measure of how far a data value is from the mean. So we're going to take a look at questions 7 and 8. Now, you also got this writing math that was on the previous slide. It says the symbol X with the line over it is used to represent the mean of a set of values. Now, recall that our mean was 60. So we would write X with the line over it is 60. And I'm going to kind of start you off on number 7. It says to find the mean absolute deviation of Zack's data, begin by completing the table. Use the mean for Zack's data that you calculated in item 1. These 5 numbers are the actual individual times that he spent each evening texting. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take this value. So I'm going to write this out. 10 minus my mean, which is 60. So this value should come out to be negative 50. The next column says, I want you to do the absolute deviation. So when we do this, we're going to draw it in absolute value bars. So we're going to do 10 minus 60. This equals the absolute value of negative 50. And the absolute value of a negative number is positive 50. So instead of it being a negative value, it's now a positive value. So I want you to finish up question 7 and also work on answering number 8. I think that this may take you a little longer, so you and your table mates will get 10 minutes on these 2 questions. Go ahead, pause your video now, and get started. As you can now see, the answers to questions 7 and 8 are now provided. I went through and I did the individual deviation. So I came up with negative 50, 0, negative 40, 75, and 15. Then I did the absolute value of all of those, which gave me 50, 0, 40, 75, and 15. In number 8, it says to finish calculating the mean absolute deviation of Zack's data, find the mean of the numbers in this third column. So I took 50 plus 0 plus 40 plus 75 plus 15. It gave me 180. And there were 5 different set of values here. So I divided by 5. So my mean absolute deviation is 36, or you'll commonly hear it heard as MAD. So again, deviation is where you just subtract the value minus the mean. And then to find the absolute deviation, you take the absolute value of the time minus the mean. On to your debriefing.